Hello my friends, welcome back to a brand new This Week in Social Media. We share about why Instagram downgrades lesser viewed videos. We talk about what the Trump win means for the Tik Tok ban. We share what we found from thousands of messages that was leaked from a MrBeast work chat. We share a small update on the Australia social media ban for those children under the age of 16. And we also share some new updates on YouTube. We found out this week from Adam, the CEO of Instagram, as he did a recent Q&A talking about why some videos looked, quote, blurry, end quote, and some others weren't. Quote, in general, we want to show you the highest quality videos that we can find when someone is watching a story or a reel. But if something isn't watched for a long time, because the vast number of views happened at the beginning, after the initial posting, we move the video quality to a lower quality, so if it's watched again a lot, then we will re-render the higher quality video. He also mentioned that if someone is watching on a lower quality internet, that they will be served a lower quality video rather than having a buffer circle, so rather it just buffering and buffering endlessly. Back in April, we also heard some changes that Adam wanted to make to help small creators. Quote, small creators historically haven't got their fair share of reach on Instagram, as we wanted to make this change so that we're making some changes on how we rank and recommend the smaller creators for a better chance of breaking through. Do you think this is a good change? They seem to be playing around with the algorithm a little bit, and I think a lot of it was around the concept to do with having a better user experience on the platform, right? So they're looking to create this user experience, but also kind of streamline some of their back-end services because, as Adam says, the views are lesser, or they can be lesser, when it comes to those older archived videos. But if it does go, quote, viral or does get lots of views suddenly, then obviously they will increase that quality again. So do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is potentially going to have a negative impact on creators that maybe have some followers who want to binge watch their content? I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. In TikTok news, of course, we heard that Donald Trump won the US election last week, and I wanted to explain a little bit what is now likely to happen in regards to the TikTok ban, as he did, quote, say on the campaign trail that he would, quote, save TikTok. However, there has been still some worries that Wire reported, quote, Donald Trump, on the other hand, has publicly backtracked on his 2020 statement on banning the app after reports of being lobbied by Jeff, a billionaire ByteDance investor. Most recently, Trump said in September in a campaign video, for those of you who wish to save TikTok in America, vote for Trump. Yet he didn't make saving TikTok a key talking point for his campaign, and people weren't 100% sure whether they would uphold this as of late. Then The Wire added, when talking to a TikTok employee, quote, in the long term, neither of them will favor TikTok because TikTok can't escape the original sin of being from a Chinese company, says ByteDance researcher science based in San Jose. After also adding, the research scientist said that colleagues who were really worried about losing their jobs and might have already left the company instead of waiting around. Quote, starting in Trump's era, there has been several rounds of news about TikTok getting banned, but yet it still survives to now. It's like crying wolf. Once again, people expect many times, and there's less concern by the sound of it, he said. As we already have reported, it's unlikely that we're going to know 100% what's going on fully until the new year, as TikTok carries on the legal challenge to fight the ban. Wire also added at the end of the report, the PAFACA Act requires the ban if there is no derogation will take up until January, with a 90-day grace period by the US president. However, TikTok has sued a federal government to appeal in court. The case is currently being disputed by the Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., and if it loses, it's expected that it will take its appeal to the case to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court picks up the case, it does mean that the decision will be delayed until late summer 2025. According to the professor of law of the University of Minnesota Law School, the court could have not taken the case and the law could be upheld. It's a big issue as it affects 170 Americans, and it's a core First Amendment question. He also added, the Supreme Court has shown in the last few years that it does take these digital First Amendment cases. However, that is all we do know when it comes to the actual TikTok ban itself, as I will be sure to let you know if and when anything does happen in the new year. Do you think TikTok is going to be saved by Donald Trump, or do you think it's all smoke and mirrors for him just to get those votes specifically? As I say, we are waiting to hear kind of the outcome from the Court of Appeals and see if they can kind of get their way out. But I'll also leave links for more resources, including the original video that we did on the TikTok ban down below. Moving on, this week we heard that there was thousands of leaked messages from Mr. Beast's work chat from the years 2020 and 2021. A percentage of the chats confirmed that Jimmy knew Ava Chris Tyson's messages and he knew what was going on. I will leave links down below in the report, in the source notes for the show, for those who want to read and watch this in a little bit more depth, because I won't be going over old news, but to quickly catch those up who maybe have not aware on the situation. Chris, or Ava, was Jimmy's best friend, and of course took part in many of Jimmy's first videos. It came out in June 21 this summer that Ava was supporting Shadman, an artist that was, quote, famous for drawing children in a sexually explicit manner, along with allegedly grooming grooming allegations. In July, Mr. Beast launched a third-party investigation to find out what had happened. We'll be talking a little bit more later on in this show about those findings specifically. Within the video itself, where the messages were shown, Dogpack joins the video and firstly claims that the account John Smith on Telegram is Jimmy and shows some message proving as such. After proving so, then we saw some messages from Ava allegedly showing Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump's daughter, when she was 13, wearing, quote, a see-through top. And this was sent in a work chat and is, of course, very inappropriate to be sent like that. And then they also go on to share and explain the definition of CP under US law, where they then move into sharing some messages about an anime that Mr. Beast allegedly links to Ava to show that they were into kind of this underage porn conversation in that respect, and there was kind of the anime that was specifically linked was the storyline is around between a 27-year-old and a 17-year-old, quote, getting together and having a romantic relationship. And Jimmy was implying that Ava would specifically enjoy or specifically find that anime specifically enjoyable and, kind of be into that, which kind of implies this very questionable, very worrying, grooming-esque behavior. So, of course, at this point, it makes, and also to add, of course, as we reported when we did report that Dogpack's first video, we shared that Mr. Beast knows categorically that a lot of his audience is younger children, even if his analytics say otherwise, because they're using spoof accounts, they're using their parents' accounts, etc., etc. So Jimmy knows that a lot of his fans are younger in that respect. So there was clearly a culture of making it seem normal to show underage sexual content to underage kids. Dogpack claims within the video that we're using as reference here that this is the first step of grooming. Throughout the rest of the video, they also go into detail and they show more messages that show and specifically show that kind of culture. So they are potentially allegedly showing kind of, not safe for work, specific memes, specifically quite a bit of questionable content to what in the majority of cases was underage children. However, in Links News, we did hear specifically about the reports from the actual report came back, and quote, the New York Times claimed that the law firm looking into the sexual misconduct found nothing. This original kind of conversation or original report that I found personally was from Philip DeFranco's show, so thank you to him, and I'll leave his links down in the description down below as well. And as Phil unpacked, Mr. Beast tweeted when these results or when this report came out, quote, a 3-month investigation into the allegations regarding the company has concluded. The law firm / investigations reviewed millions of documents and messages and conducted 39 interviews. I was asked to refrain from making public comments to be able to and have a detailed, unbiased investigation below their conclusions. And again, I'll leave this down in the description down below for those who wish to read it themselves. The following findings were true. The allegations on sexual misconduct between the company, employees and minors are without base, and the allegations were soundly rejected, including the alleged victims. The alleged company knowingly employing individuals with a propensity or history towards illegal or questionable legal conduct are simply without base. Here too is unformally rejected. Several isolations of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified within this investigation, and the company was informed as such and took swift and appropriate action to address these concerns. Where necessary, the disciplining or letting go of individuals were taking place, end quote, with the feeling that what had happened was a mix of when a company grows specifically this quickly, it can fall aside. Some of the HR stuff and some of the other infrastructure-based stuff can fall aside. And allegedly, Mr. Beast did say on Friday that it was he fired between 5 and 10 employees. With us also hearing from Lava, the person who allegedly was groomed by Ava, claiming no, he wasn't groomed, and he thanks the law firm for giving him an opportunity to share his side of the story with them. There's been a lot of pushback online, claiming due to the fact that Jimmy was the one that hired the law firm to look into, of course, what was going on. Of course, they're not going to find anything. Do keep in mind as well, this law firm didn't look into the set of allegations regarding the Beast Games lawsuit that we covered in previous shows. And for now, that's all we know when it comes to specifically those findings specifically. But do you think it was unfair, or is it's kind of BS that Jimmy hired in a law firm specifically to, of course, find nothing, right? Because he's paying for them? Or do you feel that it was a fair representation or a fair showcase of what happened, and that actually a lot of people potentially are either blowing this out of proportion or potentially not looking, and maybe people are looking at this as a way to clout build or career build, etc. in that respect? And I refer back to the show where we talked about we covered the Atozi interview, where one of the members of the Beast Games kind of competitors said that they disliked the YouTubers Dogpat and Rosanna for going after specifically covering this and sort of doing it for the quote-unquote clout of doing it in that respect as well. But I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And just as I was finalizing this script, finalizing these notes for this episode, there was also a lot of detail specifically into Mr. Beast allegedly making millions from several pump and dumps affiliated with KSI and other creators as well, and I can't really add much on that, so I'll leave some resources down below from people who know crypto space more than me in that respect as well. But I just wanted to share that going on as well. Moving on, there's also been an update that we covered a few weeks ago in regards to the new social media ban that is likely to be going or being voted on in next week in Australia. Quote, the BBC reported that Australia's government says it would like to introduce world-leading legislation to ban children under the age of 16 from social media. Potential laws to be tabled in Parliament next week, and the aim is to migrate or remove the harm from social media inflicting on Australian children. This one is for the mum and dads. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of their children online and want Australian families to know that the government has their back, he said. If passes, the legislation would be come into force 12 months after it passes and subject to review as it's in place. However, some experts have urged the ban is only going to delay young people's exposure to the apps due to such as TikTok, Instagram and Facebook. Instead, we should focus on teaching them how to navigate this complicated online spaces. So it looks like that law specifically that we talked about a couple of weeks ago is going, as I said, to be put to the Australian Parliament this coming week, or this week of filming specifically. So when we see some results on that, I'll obviously update you guys as well on what's going on with that as well. But what do you think? Do you think that this law is going to be helpful? Do you think that we're potentially just wrapping those children in general in bubble wrap, and we need to maybe give them education on helping them be able to move forward and be able to understand how to navigate social media and how to use it? And will it potentially have a negative knock-on effect because it could take away from their social interaction or social consumption through these apps specifically? I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. This week, we also heard from YouTube creators as they wanted to update the content tab within the YouTube Studio application. So it now will show all content types specifically, so videos, shorts, and lives specifically. And they also updated the way they're showing copyright notices and also monetization issues. So if there is an issue, then you'll see the logos. If there is no issue, you won't see the logos at all. The comments tab has also been renamed to, quote, community, and this helps creators understand more what's going on with their viewers. Along with the community tab being added, they've also added and are going to be rolling out community spotlight pages to highlight the most engaged commenters, along with updates to AI suggestion answers in the comments as well, along with a new AI video summarizing and being shared with some creators through time. So it's going to be a staggered launch specifically about what their new AI creator is. I haven't really been able to find much information about what that is, but if I do, then I'll specifically look into that and share that with you. Along with also YouTube playing around with an AI bot to help answer common and frequently asked questions, with also some updates around longer shorts, as some creators have found it not working as planned, myself included. Still only have less than a minute shorts, with longer shorts also now being able to be recommended. And apparently they did talk, when they talked about the longer shorts, it being kind of a staggered release, but the reason why they focused on that 15th of October date is so that that would be when the change would officially start the process, and I imagine over the next couple of months we will see it be rolled out across other creators in that respect as well. We also heard that you can add poll stickers to your shorts if you wish to poll your audience and get some of that feedback rather than just using a community post. We also saw some updates to the real-time views for creators as well, so you can now break those into certain types or certain categories in regards to your video. So you've got your long-form videos, your shorts, and then of course your lives as well. With also creators being able to add goals to super chats to help creators earn more, but also through their channels and live viewers on lives. But also I think what it sounded like anyway, that they really wanted to help build that sense of community and bring a creator and the community that they're trying to create and showcase closer together by having one of the many things that they're doing, but being super chat goals specifically, so there can be little celebrations and that kind of thing. Twitch has been known for doing this as well, with also some more controls coming on the channel side of things to be able to choose and showcase what ads are actually shown on your videos. That was previously only possible through Google AdSense. So this will allow you to change the kind of ads that are, of course, if you're in the partner program, but this will allow you to change and adapt the kinds of ads shown on your YouTube videos. So that is going to wrap up today's or this week's show. So thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me. If you did enjoy it and you would like to see more like it, I will leave some valuable resources down below, but also feel free to subscribe. It's free, and I would love to continue to grow the channel and the community that we have here. Thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me once again. I'll be back very, very soon with some brand new content, and I'll see you very